The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of some independent OPTAVIA coaches or clients of OPTAVIA. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to healthy living and weight loss will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. In addition, this audio may contain income or earnings representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. OPTAVIA makes no guarantee of financial success. Success with OPTAVIA results from successful sales efforts, which requires hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Please see the OPTAVIA income disclosure statement for statistics on actual earnings of coaches under the U.S. compensation plan, which differs from the international compensation plan. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.
Hey everyone, welcome. We are excited to be with you this evening. Hopefully you're excited to hear a little bit about the trilogy, which is why you're with us this evening. So we are ready to get started. And one of the things we'd love for you to put in the chat is one thing that you love about OPTAVIA if you're already familiar with it. So if you could just go to that chat box, type in, you may have 5 or 10 things that are your favorite. Try to pick one because we have quite a few people in the chat. But go ahead and just share what is one thing that you love about OPTAVIA so far. What's your favorite? Okay. And if you're here, one of the things we want to do is make sure you feel very welcome. So we know that you may be here because you're a client and you've had some experience and you're wanting to hear a little bit more about what we do as coaches. Maybe you're curious. Maybe someone has invited you and you have not done our plan yet. You're not at all familiar with what we do as coaches, but you are curious and you have been invited. So we want you to feel like you're welcome. We want you to know that we're going to cover that from both aspects. And we're just excited to have you tonight. So if you are a guest and you've never done our plan, you're unfamiliar with things, check out the chat. It is kind of blowing up right now, and it's blowing up maybe from some coaches. I think from a lot of our clients who are having just some incredible success. And so that's a really big deal to us. We want you to know that there's lots of reasons to love OPTAVIA. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And we'd love to be able to share with you a little bit about, who we are, how we got here, why we're sharing tonight. So obviously I'm Bekah. This is Kevin, and I'm going to start our story because it starts with a decision I made. So back in 2010, we had just had our third boy in 4 years. So we were a busy family, and I was a mom who wanted to stay home with my kids, but I was also looking for something I could do since I no longer wanted to go back to teaching. And those 3 boys were much smaller and needed a lot more help, and life was a little bit crazy. And I was also battling the baby weight, and I was looking for a way to get healthier and trying to use exercise, and it wasn't going real well, and it wasn't going very quickly. But a friend introduced me to this opportunity. And so when I took a look at it, honestly, as a teacher, one of the things that attracted me the most was the science and the education behind this. And we'll cover a little bit of that tonight. But it really got me excited and interested in what was possible. So I started my health journey, and then I started coaching a short time after that. And it's just been pretty incredible to see what happened. And what was neat is Kevin came along the way.
Yeah, so I was not Bekah's first client. I was probably down near a client number 10 for her. And when I started, it really was about weight loss. It really was a diet for me. And I had great success losing weight, getting to a healthier weight than I had really ever been since my adult married life. And we got married at the ripe old age of 21. So that was really most of my life. But when I attended our company's national convention in 2011, what I saw really impressed me. I saw a corporate partner that was committed to integrity, that had the core values that Bekah and I believed in. And what I also saw was a crowd of, at the time, about 3,000 people whose lives were significantly impacted by OPTAVIA. I was in law enforcement at the time, and one of the reasons that I joined law enforcement as a career was to help people. And what I found was it was very difficult to help people that didn't want help. You can imagine most of the people that you deal with as a police officer aren't looking for your help. Occasionally they are, but very rarely do they want to change. And what I saw was the different perspective and the joy that came from helping people who wanted to change and make their life better. So the really cool thing is on Monday of this week, we celebrated the 7-year anniversary of my decision to become a full-time OPTAVIA health coach. And it has been an amazing journey that we are just so grateful to have been on, and excited to just share our story and some stories of people that we've known and worked with for a while with you. And hopefully you'll be able to figure out if this is something you want to explore further.
I love that. And you might notice we actually have 4 kids in the picture. We actually only have 3 biological children, but that beautiful little girl has become part of our family officially this past March. And a lot of that is because of options that we had along the way, options to kind of move, to go into different spheres of influence, to be able to meet people. And so we decided to bring Evelyn into our family, and she has been an incredible gift for us. And so now we're a family of 4 kids, and it's an exciting place to be. And so we want to tell you a little bit about what OPTAVIA stands for, what we represent, what we offer. And it starts with our story and our credibility. So Dr. Anderson, who's on the right-hand side there of the screen, was the 10th board critical care physician in the United States. And he definitely cared a lot about the health of America, but he found that it was difficult to move the dial forward with the original medical model. And so he was consistently looking for a way to work with behavior change and really create a large group of people that wanted to come alongside him and support what we do here in OPTAVIA. And that was kind of the beginning of how this story started. What I love, though, is we have corporate partners who help us with our infrastructure, and we have technology and science behind us that are helping us to really lead the way in health and to show that we have a lot to stand for. And you can see there that we were one of the most trusted companies as well from Forbes. And we like to talk about the fact that we're about lifelong transformation. There's different ways to get healthy for sure, but what we believe in is one healthy habit at a time, leading to that lifelong transformation. And so we feel that what we offer is really distinctive. Sorry, do you want to go ahead and share?
I'll go ahead. So it's no doubt, this doesn't surprise anyone, that we are in the middle of a health epidemic that is probably getting worse, not better. You can read these statistics here. There's no surprises, but Americans and the world are really moving away from health as opposed to closer to health. And what really scares us the most is the fact that there's so many children that are also being affected by the poor food and lifestyle choices that have become ingrained in our American culture and in society. And what we're passionate about is turning that tide, because we know that when we help parents get healthy, the kids have a much better chance of also getting healthy.
Yeah, exactly. And so obviously parents, grandparents, you're probably aware you have some of the same concerns. Put a 1 in the chat if your family has gotten healthier as you have gotten healthier, as one person has made a quality decision. Anyone else in your family, maybe it's aunts or uncles. Oh my gosh, the chat's blowing up before I could even finish my statement. Many times spouses influence each other, and absolutely children or other people that live in the same household. And then it spreads far beyond the household. But this is one of the things that we love and that we are so passionate about when it comes to OPTAVIA.
Cool. So we're going to talk about the 4 components of our system. I believe that these 4 components are key to what sets OPTAVIA apart from anything else that's out there. If you were on at the beginning when Bekah asked people to type in what they love most about OPTAVIA, what I saw was a steady stream of different versions of the 4 components.
Yeah.
So the first component is your OPTAVIA coach. Lots of people were talking about how valuable this is. Your OPTAVIA coach should be caring and knowledgeable. They are going to offer you one-on-one support. So it's not a large group meeting, although we do have the community piece for that larger community feel, but your coach is going to provide you that one-on-one support. They're going to coach you through our healthy lifestyle program, guide you towards healthy habits. One thing we know is that we don't determine our future, we determine our habits, and our habits determine our future. So if we can help people make healthy habits a part of their daily life, they are going to set themselves up for a healthy lifelong lifestyle. And then we also provide encouragement and support, because life happens, right? Sometimes you go through challenges, sometimes your family and friends go through challenges, and everyone needs some encouragement and support along the way. The second component is the habits of health. Recently, we've been blessed to experience Dr. Anderson's revised Habits of Health Transformational System. And probably most important component, although there's many different components that make up this, that are integral to this system, but is the life book. The Habits of Health is more of a reference guide that is not intended to be read through cover to cover, but the life book is really what you're going to want to dig into right away, as well as the Habits of Health app that really reinforces the healthy habits that, whether you're in weight loss or in what we call optimization, not maintenance, but optimization, which is getting better every single day.
I mean, you can read your whole life books cover to cover day one if you want to, but we know that, it takes time and pieces, but
Absolutely.
That life book, man. Yeah.
Good stuff. So it's going to give you those steps to long-term success. And the other thing is it's going to help you make small, consistent changes that are much easier to sustain than a drastic change. For example, if you never exercised before, to go crazy with some ultra intense Ironman training program probably is not sustainable. So what we're going to do is teach you how to burn more calories and be more active in the things that you already do every single day. Once again, it reinforces our slogan of lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time.
Yeah, and I have to say, honestly, again, no matter what your background is, but for me as a teacher personally, when I was introduced to this system, even the previous version of it, when I was looking at coaching, to me, this told me that this company and this opportunity represented something that has real depth to it. And so I hope that you hear that as you're kind of listening to the different components. You realize this is an amazing system where all the pieces kind of work together, and we allow people to own their own journey, but we give them lots of great tools. And so the third tool is obviously our community. This is where we might have local or virtual community events. We have a weekly call on Wednesday nights where we go through a lot of the elements of the life book, and sometimes we give other kinds of tips along the way. And so you're going to have that opportunity to participate in that community, and I think you're going to fall in love with it. There's the Habits of Health video calls that are available in the nutrition support department. And then as a health coach, we actually have an Agents of Transformation Facebook page where you're going to get notifications and training as well that comes directly from OPTAVIA. And then the fourth component are the fuelings. And we believe this is an amazing tool because we're teaching people to eat 6 times a day, every 2.5 to 3 hours, drink 64 ounces of water. The fuelings are nutrient dense, carbohydrate controlled, and they're a balance of protein and carbohydrates. So this incredible tool is scientifically designed, and it provides the right nutrition at every stage of the journey. And so we're very excited to be able to utilize that as part of this comprehensive system, which makes coaching really not very complicated. It makes it very simple, and we can fall in love with it one client at a time. So it's my honor today to share, to have a friend come on and talk. So one of the benefits of coaching is helping family. And just so you know, I saw some people in the chat, listen, some people are ready right away. Some people take some time. So don't be discouraged if you haven't had a family member choose health yet. Hopefully they will come with time and consistency on your part. But not only family members, many times friends, and lots of times they're friends that you had interactions with and then you get to reconnect with. And that's where Allison comes in our life. She's a dear, dear friend, and coaching has reconnected us. And so Allison's going to share her story for just a couple minutes.
Yeah, thanks so much, Bekah and Kevin, for giving me the opportunity to share my story and my journey. I think there's something powerful about listening to someone's story that touches the hearts of people and moves people to action. So if I get to be that tonight, that's awesome. Thank you. I started my health journey roughly 2 years ago. I remember exactly where I was when I texted or called Bekah and I said, I'm ready. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I'm sure a lot of you out there in the chat, say a 1, type a 1 if that was you. And so I was ready, and I went on a journey and lost roughly 68 pounds. And little did I know that losing the weight would help me gain so much more in my life. And Bekah had offered coaching to me many times, and my door was closed, like closed, shut, key there, thrown away. It was really shut. And I was a busy mom. I was a full-time teacher. My husband and I were pastors. I was leading worship. I mean, we were doing a lot of things. And it was actually my 11-year-old daughter who said to me, Mom, you need to coach. Why aren't you coaching? Mom, you would be a really great coach. If so-and-so can coach, you can coach, Mom. And it was really the faith of my daughter that opened that door that was closed, opened it just a little bit. And that's when I started exploring what coaching could look like for my family and look like for me as a person. And so Bekah and I began to explore that. And I'm one of these people that I need to see the whole staircase before I take a step, you know? And this is one of those things where I had to take that first step. And I made the decision to not let fear dictate my future. And when I did that and I took the first step, man, I'm so glad I took that first step. It has been such an amazing journey in coaching. So many benefits. One benefit for me personally is that I've had an anchor of accountability with coaching. I have been a yo-yo dieter my whole adult life, and coaching other people gives you this sense of accountability for yourself, that if I'm leading others, I need to be leading myself in this too. And so that's been amazing. I've been able to push my health forward, not just with losing weight, but I ran a 5K on Thanksgiving morning. I didn't even train for it. I just went out and did it. I mean, what was I thinking? I never would have done that 68 pounds ago, you know? And so just challenging myself, coaching has done that. I mentioned I was teaching. We moved to Arizona about 1.5 years ago, and I knew I didn't want to teach in Arizona. And I thought, what am I going to do if I don't teach? I needed something with purpose that also provided an income to bridge that gap in our budget. And coaching has done that. It has brought an amazing sense of purpose in my life. Teaching was awesome, but coaching is awesome too. And to be able to walk with people every day in their journey and see them find hope and meaning and passion again for life is something that is just irreplaceable. And to be able to do that with people is absolutely phenomenal. I never knew that I would find so much purpose in coaching. It has brought community in my life that I didn't even know I needed at that point. I have friends that I've known for less than 2 years now that are family to me. I mean, they were at my house for Thanksgiving. I was like, come on over. And so just to have a group of people around you who are supporting you and encouraging you, we're all doing the same thing, and we're there just being each other's biggest cheerleader in life. And coaching is just phenomenal, and really financially is icing on the cake, to be honest with you. I didn't know what that was going to look like for our family. But our son a few months ago was diagnosed with autism, and we didn't know what that was going to look like. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna get a little emotional about it, but he needed to be in a specific school, in a school district that we didn't live in. And so we had to make the decision to move, and just down the street, but to a different neighborhood where he could get the schooling and the support he needs at school. And coaching allowed us to do that. It gave us the freedom to sell our home and find our dream neighborhood where we wanted to live. It allowed us to, you know, my car died on the freeway a couple of weeks ago, and I was able to walk into a dealership and buy a car, not having to worry about how we were going to do that. Like, we walked in with just that freedom of being like, okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to buy? Financially smart, but still, what are we going to buy? And then we've been able to give generously. We've been able to write checks to organizations, and I can't wait to see even more that we can give, but we've been able to do that and support some of our favorite charities and organizations that fight human trafficking and help kids in the foster care system here in Arizona. And to be able to do that is just, it's so awesome. And so I just encourage you, if you're one of those people that needs to see the whole staircase before you take the step, take that first step. Do not let fear dictate your future, and just take the first step. Thank you.
Wow. Well, we love you. So it's easy to say that that was amazing and thank you. But I also know that watching the chat, you know, people got so much value out of that.
So Allison talked about what we're going to talk about next, which is the trilogy of optimal health. We talk about healthy mind. This isn't mental illness. This is satisfaction in life. It's that meaning and purpose. We talk about healthy body. That's obvious. And we also talk about healthy finances. What we're not talking about is getting rich. We're certainly not talking about getting rich quick. But what we're talking about is having some breathing room, some margin in your life, some margin in your bank account. So benefits of becoming an OPTAVIA coach are innumerable, but some of them are, it reinforces your decision to be healthy. Allison talked about it. I'm not proud of the photo that Bekah showed at the beginning, because that was 17 pounds heavier. That photo was taken in October. And even though I was still technically at a healthy weight, it wasn't ideal. I got a little sloppy in my own eating habits and just needed And I'm grateful for the accountability that coaching provides, because I made a decision that, you know what, just like a car needs a tune-up, I needed a tune-up. And I've been following the habits of health, the eating plan that Dr. Anderson has outlined in his Habits of Health Transformational System. And I'm down 17 pounds, feeling absolutely amazing. And if my wife would let me, I'd take my shirt off right now just to show you all how great I'm looking.
Just keep going.
Pay it forward to make a difference. Allison's one of those people that we absolutely loved, and it's been such a huge blessing to pay the gift of health, healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances forward. I'm sure there's some comments there. Thanks, Ryan. It's fun and rewarding, right? We're working. This is what Bekah and I do for a living, and we're doing this together. Obviously, we're having fun. The compensation is amazing. Number one, it's the currency of goodwill. We talk about paychecks of the heart. It is so enjoyable, so rewarding to have a conversation with a client who is feeling better. It might be clothes fitting better. It might be being able to get their wedding ring back on. You name it. The stories that we've heard are wide ranging. And the other thing is the financial needs and goals piece. The other thing is leaving a legacy. For us, the first part of that is helping our kids to develop healthy habits so that they don't become victims of the obesogenic world that we live in. The other piece is creating an impact, a business that is impacting other people, and through the impact of the other coaches on our team is really making a massive ripple in the health of not just this country, but ultimately the world. So our progressive growth model is very simple. You can start out as an OPTAVIA coach, and the way that works is you just choose to pay it forward. The vast majority of coaches are paying it forward to a handful of friends and family. And for many people, that's going to be enough. Some of you are going to fall in love with it the way that Allison did and the way that Bekah and I did. And you're going to decide, I want to have a bigger impact. And the way you do that is you develop your skills. It's progressive, and you become what we call a business coach. So you continue to help clients, which is still rewarding, but you start to train and develop health coaches. And you teach those health coaches how to help their own clients. The reason that this is so powerful is that because we are a relationship business, we're not selling products. The best advertising that we have is ourselves. And so as people have a transformation, their friends and family notice and want to get on that train. And so offering others the opportunity to coach is the best way to do that. And then a business leader is someone who's not just developing coaches, but they're developing teams of coaches. And Bekah and I have been there for a while, and it is incredibly rewarding because the impact that we're blessed to have, along with the team that we've been able to create, is amazingly profound. So next, I want to invite my good friend, Dave Hadley. He's a fellow Arizonan out here, and actually a physical therapist who helped me rehabilitate from a back injury I sustained over the summer. And as you can see, he has transformed his life. Beautiful family, but want to just give him the opportunity to share what his transformation experience has been with OPTAVIA. You there, Dave?
I am. Thank you so much, Kevin. Such a blessing that you can introduce me to this group and allow me to speak on this trilogy. Thank you so much. As you said, I've been a physical therapist for 22 years now, moved out here from Buffalo, New York to Arizona. Go Buffalo Bills. Me and my wife opened up a physical therapy office, outpatient orthopedic clinic, about 12 years ago, and have been doing that ever since. And literally just been, through that process, kind of struggling up and down with medical field insurances, all that different stuff. So when OPTAVIA was introduced to us by my good friend Dan that I went to college with, it was something that was perfect timing for me. He introduced it as the whole trilogy, as the healthy body, as the healthy mind, and as the healthy finance. So when it was offered to me, I knew that it sounded fantastic. I was always looking for the next thing, some financial thing that might help out, or something that can help my patients more. So I had tried different weight loss things in our office, and it just wasn't working out. And when this was offered, obviously the first thing I wanted to do was try it. So even though I went through a health assessment, and I remember vividly, Kevin going through a health assessment with me. And at the end of the health assessment, he's like, hey, 0 to 10, how ready are you to get healthy? And I was at I think I said 4 or 5, because at that point I was like, hey, I'm just big boned. I don't need to lose a lot. I knew I could lose a little weight, but when I started the program, I jumped on, and after 4 days, obviously you get into fat burn. And if you guys have done this, it's just something that comes along. For me, the energy was second to none in my long hours, my 12-hour days at work. It was one of those things that I was able to, I was always running to get through my food in order to get my 30 to 40 minute nap in on my 12-hour days, because I thought that's how life was. So once I started dialing my nutrition, I've taken 4 or 5 naps probably in the last 2 or 3 years, and it's just been absolutely phenomenal. So when I felt that after day 4 or 5, I knew that I had family, friends around me that could really benefit from this program. So I decided on day 6 that, hey, I'm going to start reaching out and start coaching. What else did I know about coaching? I didn't really know much of anything other than what I knew as a client, which was eat within an hour of waking up, eat every 2 to 3 hours throughout the day, drink your water, and measure your lean and green. So as I started bringing on clients and friends and family to go along with me, I found that not only helping other people, it was one of the things that held me so accountable, like Allison said, and like, we've heard before, but it's been one of those things that I don't think I would have gotten to my goal as quickly. And I ended up losing 40 plus pounds through that process. And that was weight I didn't even know I needed to lose. So it was phenomenal. The opposite side of this is our business was, in physical therapy and in the medical field, you're always wondering about what the next step is and where you're going to go. And we were at that standstill. So the healthy mind and the healthy finances that come along with this, just by helping people, it's always been in my heart as a physical therapist to help people. And I never had that nutrition component where I could say, hey, you know what, if I take a pound off your body, that's going to take 4 pounds of pressure off your knees and your ankles and your hips and your back, and that's going to make you feel so much better. And now I have that opportunity to just help people even more. And the time freedom that it's brought me, I'm down to working 3 days a week. I get to take my son to school. I have energy coming home from work on my longer days. Like I said, I don't take naps anymore, and it has just been so huge for me and my family, and being able to be there for them. And I see a future now, whereas before, physical therapy was something that was getting me through the day, and I'm going to continue to be a physical therapist, but it's something that I can do on my own time. I'm not going to be, set to a certain schedule. I can do it when I want to. And health coaching has really given me that option to say, hey, I'm not going to have to work till I'm 60 or 65, speaking to people about physical therapy. I can really help people on the other side and get them out of that cycle of pain by helping them nutritionally and help them, mentally get to that point. So it's been such a blessing to be, a coach, to be in this whole community, in this group. And it is just, this company is second to none. And I just love everybody in it. So thank you so much for letting me speak.
Oh my gosh, such an honor to hear from you. And one of the thing I love about hearing both Dave and Allison share is you can hear their heart. They care about people, and that's really what this is about. It's about looking for a need that's out there, meeting a need with what we have in our hands. And the beautiful thing is we're just looking for people that are ready. We're looking for people who are looking for us. So how does it work for coaches? It's a relational model. Kevin referenced this already, but it's focused on optimal well-being. We are not building relationships unnaturally. We're letting it happen naturally, and then being available for people that want the help in their life. You're self-employed and independent. You can work full-time or part-time. There's very low startup and operating costs and no inventory. Again, we're not product focused. It's a flexible business, so you can work from anywhere, which allows you to travel and work. It allows you to change where you live if you choose to do something like that. There's no quotas or monthly purchases required, and there's complete training and support. So when we came into this business, really just for me to have it as a hobby, we quickly fell in love with all of these things and how the business worked because of the major blessings we were enjoying in coaching our clients and working with our coaches, and then just the way it's set up. OPTAVIA coach support looks like this. We have a comprehensive training system. You're going to learn as you earn. So we're not asking you to go to school for a long period of time before you can start creating some income. You're going to be earning a compensation for coaching clients and learning along the way. You work with a business coach and a mentorship team. So people who come alongside you and show you how to become competent and how to gain confidence. We employ team coaching. So you kind of have this apprenticeship model and you work at your own pace. We say that we set the course, you set the pace, which allows people to grow quickly or slowly, but us to guide them along the path. And then there's optional local, regional, and national wellness and training events. So there are lots of opportunities to learn and grow through coaching, and you also have a community of coaches around you to help and support you as well along the way, which is really beautiful. So I think all that's left really is to make an invitation.
Yeah, so it's been wonderful to hear these stories. Both of the speakers are close friends of ours. We know the stories, and again, I was inspired tonight just by their personal transformations and seeing the chat and the questions and the comments that are happening there. I know that many of you are inspired. So what we want to do is just invite you to continue exploring if this sounds good. And if it doesn't sound like something you're interested in, no worries. I can assure you that we have no intent to pressure you, and the person who invited you has no intent to pressure you to do this. If it's not for you, no worries. If it sounds interesting, go ahead, reach out to the person who invited you, not someone that you met in the chat. Talk to the person who invited you and say, hey, what's the next step? I'd love some more information. And if it's a good fit, awesome. Whether you want to help a handful of people, 4 or 5 friends and family, or you want to have a much larger impact, the way that Dave has talked about tonight, we invite you to join us. And most importantly, we just want to wish you the best in your lifelong transformation, in your journey to optimal health.
Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
This audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some independent OPTAVIA coaches or clients of OPTAVIA. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. In addition, this audio may have contained income or earnings representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. OPTAVIA makes no guarantee of financial success. Success with OPTAVIA results from successful sales efforts, which requires hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Please see the OPTAVIA income disclosure statement for statistics on actual earnings of coaches under the U.S. compensation plan, which differs from the international compensation plan. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.